We have a question about nails. Somebody has 20 nails and the table gives information about the length of each nail. So first of all, this person, Viraj, takes one nail from the box. What's the probability that the length of the nail he takes is 50 millimeters or 60 millimeters? Now we know that in the box there are 5 nails which are 50 millimeters long and there are 2 nails which are 60 millimeters long. So in other words, in total there are 7 nails which are either 50 or 60 millimeters long. So the probability of taking a nail of that length is 7 out of the 20. So that's just 7/20. Probability of the nail being less than 35 millimeters. Well, less than 35 millimeters, the only nails which are less than 35 millimeters are these 8 and this one here. So that's 9 of the nails. So that's going to be 9 out of 20. It now says that Jamila puts all the 20 nails into a bag and she takes one of the nails, records its length, puts it back in the bag, and then takes a second nail from the bag. So what's the probability that both of the nails she takes are 60 millimeters long? Well, there are 2 nails in the bag which are 60 millimeters long. So the probability that the first nail that she takes is 60 millimeters long is going to be 2 out of the total number of nails, which is 20. Now, if we're working out the probability of the first nail and the second nail both being 60 millimeters long, we are going to multiply. And in this case, we are told that the first nail is replaced in the bag. So the probability that her second nail has a length of 60 millimeters as well is still going to be 2 out of 20. Well, if I simplify those, 2/20 is a tenth, so it's a tenth times a tenth. And to multiply 2 fractions together, I do 1 times 1, so I multiply the tops to get 1. I multiply the bottoms to get 10 times 10, which is 100. So the probability of getting 2 nails, both 60 millimeters long, is 1/100th. Okay, the second part of the question says, what's the probability that the 2 nails she takes have a total length of 80 millimeters? Now this is more complicated because to have a total length of 80 millimeters, it could be, and I'm going to use a table here, I'm going to look at the first nail, so nail 1 and nail 2. I'm going to distinguish between them because it is important to look at the order. So it could be that the first nail is 30 millimeters long and the second nail would be then have to be 50 millimeters long. Or another situation could be that the first nail is 50 and the second nail is 30 millimeters long. Or it could be that the first nail is 40 millimeters long and the second one would then also be 40 millimeters long. Now, those are the only possibilities. If the first one's 25, I would have to, well, I can't choose a second one. 30 and 50 makes 80, 40 and 40. With a 60 millimeter nail, I'd have to have a 20 millimeter nail, so that's not going to work. Now, I'm going to work out the probabilities of each of those. So the probability that she gets, if we just if we work out the probability that the first one is 30, well, the probability there, so let's carry this into our table here. So probability, first nail is 30, well, that's going to be 8 out of 20. The probability that the second nail is 50 is going to be 5 out of 20. Remember, she is still replacing them. First nail being 50, well, that's going to be 5 out of 20, multiplied by 30, well, that's going to be, again, 8 out of 20. Probability the first nail is 40 millimeters is 4 out of 20. Go looking at the 4 here. Second nail is again going to be 4 out of 20. Now, if I work out each of those probabilities, let's just rub this out. If I do first set, okay, 8/20 times 5/20, well, 8 times 5 is 40, so that comes out as 40, and then 20 times 20 is 400. Plus, because it's either that situation or it's this one, well, the second one is also going to give me 40 out of 400. Third one, 4/20 times 4/20, well, that's 16 out of 400. Now, if we add these all together, because we either get a 30 and a 50, or a 50 and a 30, or a 40 and a 40, add these together, we've got 80, so that makes 96 out of 400. Now, you can leave it like that, or you could divide the top and the bottom by 4, which gives me 24 out of 100. You can simplify it then even more, so that's 12 out of 50, which is 6 out of 25. You don't get any marks for simplifying the fraction, actually, so 96/400 would be fine.